Hey YouTube, Will Racer here. Quick little video about a tool you can build yourself for your shop. It's really useful, particularly if you get into building larger park jets or you want more scale detail. One of the things with a lot of the park jets is that they have a foam canopy. Well, if you want a clear canopy and you're building something that's not a standard size where you can't find a comparable plane to just order their canopy for it, you're going to have to start making your own, and that's going to require a vacuum former. So this is a really easy one to build. Honestly, it's just a basic, simple box. Your vacuum shop vac will hook right up to it, and you use a window screen frame to clamp your plastic to, just using regular old binder clips. So below I'll put a link to all the materials to build this, some instructions, as well as a link to a good supplier for ordering the plastic. What's convenient about this plastic provider and this particular former is that it's already 2 foot by 2 foot. I don't have to worry about trimming the plastic or anything. Just pull out a sheet, throw it on there, and I'm ready to go. One other thing I'll put down below is some hints on making plugs. This is the plug for this. It's not exactly 1/9 scale F16, but it's another one of Jet, or actually this is Hans Joachim. I was about to say it was one of Jet Set's models. This is one of Hans Joachim's F16s. And yeah, so some instructions on how to make those plugs. You're not going to want to use just bare foam to make the plug for your vacuum former. The heat and the pressure from vacuum forming will deform the foam. You won't get a good pull, or you might get one good pull, but you certainly won't be able to make multiple copies. And we're going to do a next video, a subsequent video on tinting canopies. I've kind of stumbled into a pretty good technique that works really well, so I thought I would share that with you guys to actually stain these using the right dye that you would use for staining fabric. There's kind of a trick to get the water to maintain the right temperature to stain them without actually deforming the plastic, and I think we found a pretty good way of doing that. So that'll be the next video in the series, and then we'll go on to something else. But I'm gonna sneak inside. Wife is out of town. I'm gonna set up in the kitchen because I don't have an oven out here, and we'll show you how we make a pole. All right, welcome to Mrs. Willem Racer's kitchen. We will be doing the pole here in just a few minutes. The oven's preheating, but I wanted to go over the last couple things that you're going to want to have on hand. You're going to need a whole bunch of binder clips to actually bind the plastic to the frame, and you're going to need to pull the blue plastic off of the blue covering plastic off of the plastic that we're going to vacuum form. You want to wait to the last possible second to do that because dust is going to want to stick to it, and it's going to be really hard to clean that off if it melts into the plastic while you're doing the pole. Other thing you're going to need to have on hand, because the frame will be hot when you pull it out of the oven, I like to use automotive work gloves. They'll protect your hands. Always have a hot air gun on hand. I don't think a hairdryer would be quite enough. You're going to need an actual hot air gun. This lets you actually get in and work the plastic, any areas that might not have gotten quite hot enough to vacuum all the way in. This way you can kind of do it by hand if you need to. And last but not least, the ever-present painter's tape. What we're going to do on this particular vacuum former, because the bed is so large and our canopy is not as large as the bed, what we're going to do is actually mask off so that I've only got about 4 or 5 inches on any side of the part, and that way I'm not trying to provide suction to all this other area. I get a little bit stronger suction immediately right around the part, and helps to get the part formed before the plastic starts to cool. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp the plastic up and throw it in the oven, and when we come back we'll be doing the pole. Thanks. Alright, so that's all there is to vacuum forming. It's pretty easy once you have the equipment. Either one of these parts would be usable for this particular project. I'm not trying to win any scale model masters contest. The first pole has a slight imperfection here in the front. If I had started actually heating in the front with the hot air gun, I might have been able to work that out. This is a slightly heavier material as well, though that's why I didn't vacuum quite as well as the second pole. The second pole with the lighter material doesn't have, well, it does have the imperfection in the front, but it's below the trim line, so I don't really care. And this will probably be sturdy enough for this particular model, particularly once I actually get it secured to the model. So in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to stain these. I'm going to go ahead and stain both of them and throw one of them on the shelf in case they crash or need a replacement. And you can see the plug is just fine, so if I need to pull a third one, I can do that. But I'm looking forward to getting on with this project and trying to mimic the golden tint that the F-16 Canopy has. I believe it's for reducing radar signature, but if I'm wrong, you can correct me below. But we're going to try to match what the actual F-16 has with a slightly golden tint on the canopy. So it should be fun. See you soon.